Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. We're going to go an interesting compare today. XR16 Callaway against the Taylormade M2. Danny Willett winning the Masters with the XR, and then you've got M2 obviously being used by lots of their staff players who are competing a lot at the minute. These are two drivers you're going to see on tour a lot. Let's compare them, see what numbers. We've got real ball data coming at you with these two clubs as well. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, so M2 is the less adjustable version of the M family from Taylormade. You get the speed pocket, adjustable neck, no sliding bar like you get on M1. You get the unmetal top, so this composite top with the white lipstick front line, if you like, and then the black face. Looks fantastic and certainly big and beautiful down by the ball. This will have a lot of shop appeal. M2, I could see it really appealing to a lot of golfers. XR16 from Callaway, you're getting Boeing engineered design on aerodynamics through the bottom and these little steps you get on top as well. You get a matte black finish with a little bit of lipstick around the two bumps on top. Out of the two clubs, I would say the M2 is jazzier in its looks. The XR a little cleaner almost, so a little bit less kind of busy. So I'm not saying one is better than the other because I quite like both. If anything, the M2 looks slightly nicer, but not much in it. Both very big down by the ball, stretch back and look very friendly. Very interesting that Danny uses the XR, not the Pro or the other lower spinning options. It's not always low spin for everyone isn't always the answer, subject to what you obviously bring to the table as well. So let's start with the XR16. So I use the Pro of this version, and I actually prefer the Pro look because it's smaller and you don't get the lipstick on the top of the club. But this one looks fine. I prefer the look of my Pro. Off the face, sits nice and square. You get the adjustable neck on both of these as well. You can bring the loft down, I think 2 degrees, and you can change the light a little bit as well. The dialing in direction. Off the face, XR16. Feels nice, makes that classic Callaway sound. Exactly what you would expect. It doesn't really make much of a different sound to my Pro, which I quite like. It does feel good off the face. If we look at the numbers from the XR16, not the Pro, the XR16. I'm carrying it, averaging 254 on this test, spinning it around 2.6. Did get one at 3,000, then 2,000 and 2.7. So you can see my strike is jumping around there. And when I got it down at the 2,000, it went at 2.62. Which is my normal kind of average to longer hit. Now, which I do like, peaking out at 37, which is relatively high, one going up at 41. It does feel like it's quite an easy club to get launching up in the air. You might have to be careful with what loft you have, which is why it's so important you go for those fittings, because it is quite stretched back at the back. Now, if we compare that to M2, it's certainly, I think, would appeal for more people on the shop floor in the looks, but Callaway in drivers obviously is such a big name that lots of people buy into. Not the Taylormade, is it in drivers? They're pretty hardcore also. Sits nice and square, does look great. I've got the sun like right up behind me, and it does glare a lot in that unmetalled bit because it's shiny where you didn't in the matte finish of that one. I think I could get over that. Nice sound, similar, not much in it, maybe a little tingier. Feels good. I always get relatively good numbers with M2. It does perform very, very well. When you look at the numbers, it's interesting, 256, only 2 yards difference in the two clubs. Now, I've done other tests where M2 is consistently over the 260. And this is why I test clubs at the same time. I don't use data from an M2 I tested a week ago to today because my performance changes, my health changes, how fit or unfit I feel changes. Also, how many clubs I've hit before or after. I think it's interesting again, and it's only small, that the M2 on this test is slightly outperforming, like it does in lots of the tests I do. So it doesn't matter if it's going 270 on that day or 240 or 250. The equivalent club is always slightly behind it, and it's that spin. It's consistently around 2,000, the M2, which is very good performing for that kind of price point club, that size of club as well, it must be said. Going a little higher, a little lower at 35 peak height. And again, look at the ball speeds. They're actually a little bit slower going further on M2. M2 does perform well. Out of those two clubs, you've got to go and test. Let me know which one you think is best. I would go M2 if I had to choose between those two. I actually choose an XR Pro because I prefer the different makeup that brings. But for me, out of those two and those tests, M2 would be hard to beat. Let me know what you go for. Post comments down below as always. Both good drivers. Which one would you go for? Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, all the normal social places. Also, come and visit my new website, markcrossfieldgolf.com. See you over.